Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today. Namo, the greatly loving and compassionate Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Shimo, Tanzen Katso, Tuten Siddhi, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma tutors, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
Xin chào, cảm ơn. Aishiteru. Sarange. Hola, amigo. Que quiero mucho. Sugoi. Ichiwa. Kimochi. Yumi. Yapi. Brin. Konbanwa.
This evening, we had the group practice Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva as the main deity, as the deity yoga or yidam practice. The manifestations of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva are the most numerous. That's why we say myriad of them, like trillions of them. We say that Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is also the most compassionate Bodhisattva. Therefore, sometimes when we talk about Buddha Dharma, we say that Amitabha in each household, Amitabha in each home, and Avalokitesvara in each household. So when the monastic people would say Amitabha, and in almost every household, they would enshrine Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So there are many manifestations. We often tell this joke that the South Sea belongs to China. Otherwise, where would the South Sea Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva live? It's a joke. The East Sea also belongs to China. Otherwise, where would the East Sea Dragon King live? Because we know the South Sea Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is very famous. We all know her. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is, of course, the most important main deity or yidam in Sukhavati, or the western realm of Atmos bliss. In Sukhavati, there are the Pure Land Trinity, At the center, Amitabha Buddha.
我们看过去的右边
And
观世音菩
when we are facing them, to our right is Avalokitesvara
大势至
Bodhisattva, and to our left
称为
is
西方
Master-Maprapta
就
Bodhisattva.
是西方极
And
乐
they are
世界
called
的
the three
三个
Niti
因
of
子
Sukhavati, or the three sages of Sukhavati, the three main reliances in Sukhavati.
大家也知道，西方极乐世界
We all know
在《阿弥陀经》里面，
in the Amitabha Sutra,
西方极乐世界
Sukhavati, the western realm of Atmos bliss,
出广长舌相，
is
有共同
all the
赞叹
Buddhas in the 10 directions that extend their
十方诸佛
tongues, their
十方
broad and
诸
long
佛
tongue to praise.
共同赞叹的这
So
个极乐世界。
the realm of Atmos bliss is commonly praised by all the
不只是
Buddhas.
在西方极乐世界，
And the
还有很多的
emanation
世
of
界
Avalokitesvara is not only
都
in
有观世音
Sukhavati,
菩萨。
but there are many Avalokitesvara in many realms, many other
所以这一
realms.
尊啊，是我们这个
So this deity is our
生活中八大本尊之一。
one of our 8 primary deities of True Buddha school.
这个弟子都是以观世
And
音
many
菩萨为主
disciples have Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva as their personal
这个
meditational
像那个机关
deity or yidam.
还有
Like
这
some
个
of
三
their
十的像
her emanations are the 7 Avalokitesvara with 32 forms and many more,
观世音
a myriad of them.
这一尊是最伟大的菩萨。
This deity is the greatest bodhisattva.
那么八大菩萨，
Of the 8 great
我
bodhisattvas,
们晓得第一个称呼的也是
we know, as we know, the first one we call upon is
大菩萨为观世音
Avalokitesvara
菩萨。
Bodhisattva, the greatly loving and compassionate
八大菩
Avalokitesvara
萨当中
Bodhisattva.
观世音菩萨
So,
Yes,
among the
Baba
8 great bodhisattvas, Avalokitesvara is one of
另
them.
外呢，我们常念的高
And
王观世音菩萨，
the High King
Baba
Avalokitesvara
Wang
Bodhisattva,
Baba
which we
Wang
often chant,
也是他
inside the High
高
King
王
Guanyin
观世音菩
Sutra.
萨为首，其
And
中呢还有
also
4个观世音
primarily
菩萨
the
里面的这个
High
名
King
字还有4个
Avalokitesvara
观世音菩萨
as the primary one, but there are also 4 more
大圆观世音、
in
观
there.
音观世音、高圆观世音、开圆
And
观
they
世
are
音
the noble Avalokitesvara, the expansively minded Avalokitesvara, the observant Avalokitesvara, and the great wisdom Avalokitesvara.
4个菩萨
4 more.
到哪里找？
Where can we
很多人不
find
知道。
these 4
大明观
bodhisattvas?
世音、观
Many
明观
people
世
don't
音、
know the
高
great
明观世
wisdom,
音、开明观世音，
the observant, the noble, the expansively minded Avalokitesvara.
哪里找到这4个观世音？
Where are they? Where can we find them?
你要找，去日本京都
If you want to find them, go to Kyoto, Japan.
，Kyoto 33间
The
，33间里面
Sanjusan,
就有高
the
王观世音
33 temple there,
大明观世音、
and they have this 4 Avalokitesvara,
开明
the
观世
great wisdom, observant, noble, and expansively minded Avalokitesvaras. All 4 of them.
这是很少有的观世音菩萨哈，所以千处
And
求
they are quite rare Avalokitesvaras. They appear wherever they are prayed to, and they always deliver sentient beings from the ocean of suffering. If you don't believe this, go find and ask the Vietnamese refugees when they board a boat from Toton, Vietnam. And every time on the boats, when they encounter disasters, they always chant Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Kuan Yin. So you can ask those Vietnamese refugees who came to America which Bodhisattva they prayed to, and they all prayed to Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Let me share a few jokes. A human beings should marry at least once in our lives. You know why? Because otherwise you would never know how comfortable it is to live alone. Yesterday, Xiaoming was fired, and he felt bad. And the reason was his boss sent line to the group, a meeting at 10, and bring your life necessity to the meeting room. And when he got to the meeting room, all the colleagues brought their laptops, except Xiaoming brought his bowl and chopsticks. And he was fired. So, like your life necessity, but in Chinese it's like eating, because eating is life necessity, eating utensils. The wife was working very hard to teach a newborn baby to call dad. And the dad was really moved. The wife is so sweet. To teach the son to call dad instead of to call mom. So he's really touched. Until one night, the baby was crying all night and kept calling dad. And the wife nudged her husband. Your son is calling you. Go take care of him. Now we'll get into the main subject. Question from Malaysia by Lianhua Yueqin. Kim. Homage to the lineage root Guru, living Buddha Lian Sheng, Grand Master Lu. Amitabha. Grand Master on March 11, 2023 at the Seattle Lejang Temple, you said that look at cells, look at the cells. Every day, quite a few of our cells die. So cells live and they die too. This reminds me, your disciple, a passage from Grandmaster's book number 167, Listen to the Whispers in My Heart, in an article entitled, I am Amitabha Buddha, please listen to the whispers in my heart. The Buddha said, all bodies throughout the Dharma realm are Amitabha Buddhas. So what is pure, what is defiled, what is happy, what is suffering then? It is just because everyone has changed their faces that they have forgotten that they are Amitabha Buddhas. In the Sutra on the Samadhi of Liberation through Purification, it is written, our thoughts result in one body, 100 thoughts result in 100 bodies, 1,000 thoughts means 1,000 bodies. So in a day and a night you plant the seeds of birth and death, which results in 850 million different bodies. The suffering souls you create in 100 years fill the great 1,000 worlds. So are the physical bodies that go with it. When enclosed inside this speck of skin and flesh or the body, how could it possible that they know that all the different bodies in the Dharma realms are all Amitabha Buddhas? When I saw this passage, I was greatly shocked. After reading this article, I was greatly shocked, thinking about how many souls we have created. I wondered when we will complete our cycle of rebirth and achieve fruition. I once wrote an article called The Burden of 850 Millions with these questions. Now I would like to ask Grandmaster, 1. Are the cells in our body the souls and spirits that we have accumulated over past lives? 2. If our cells are the souls that we created with every thought, does it mean that when the cells die, they have gone through one reincarnation? Does it mean that the spiritual cultivation that we do during the lifespan of the cells has purified the karma of the cells? For example, by reciting the mantra of Usnisha Vijaya, can we bardo deliver our own cells? Perhaps my thoughts are just wild imagination. I humbly ask Grandmaster to explain the above passage from the Sutra on the Samadhi of Liberation through Purification. Thank you, Grandmaster. Homage. So note, in 1 year, 98% of cells in our body are being replaced. So this person may have researched science of cells. I did not know that in 1 year, 98% of our body cells are being replaced. Where did it come from? Do you know? Anyone? Yeah, that's been said
他讲
before.
说，1年左右的时间，
In
身体
about 1 year,
98%的细胞
98%
都会
of
被
our
重
body
新更
cells
新
are being replaced.
这个是我不知道的。
I did not know about this.
他知道，我不知道。有谁知道？有谁知道是
Anybody
1
knows?
年左右98%的细胞会重新更新一次？这个学医的、学医学的应该才比较懂。
Those who study medicine may know,
就不太清楚。
but not otherwise.
我只知道说细胞会死，也会
I
生
just know that cells die and regenerate.
听人家讲的，只有脑的细胞，
And I also heard they say
它不
that
会重生。
brain cells cannot be regenerated,
脑部的
cannot
细胞
regenerate.
如果脑部的细胞
Once they die, that's
就
it.
会重新再生。其他的地方的细胞
But
都会重生。
cells from other body parts can
他问的问题，我
regenerate.
们身上的细胞
So her
是不
questions
是我
are,
们前世轮回而来的魂
the
身？
cells in our body, the souls from our past lives?
这个不要去想，
Don't think about this.
就是你前世轮回来的魂神，
So
又
if
干你什么事？
even if they are,
又干我
so
什么事？
so
也不干大
what
家
does
的
it
事，
matter to you, to me,
反
or
正
to
大家一
everybody?
样都活。
Everybody's the same. We live on.
对不对？我们讲这个维摩诘经比较重要，
It's more important to talk about
对
Vimalakirti
不对？细
Sutra,
胞
right?
是不是你的
Are the
前世的魂
cells
神来转化？
your manifestations from
那又
souls
怎
from
么样？
past lives? So what
不
if
是
they
又怎
are?
么样？
And so what if they're not?
真的，要带莲花夜勤出去看，外面在飞的鸟。
Let's ask her to see the bird flying in the sky. And this is actually a Chinese idiom.
不是又怎么样？
So what if they are? And so what if they're not? There's no need to ask such
每天
question.
吃饭吃3
You
餐睡
just
觉，
eat
对不
3
对？
times a
管他
day
身
and
体里
sleep
那个
every
细胞
day.
是哪个魂神？
Who
你
cares
管他什么？
what souls and spirits are the cells? The cells
是
are.
不是魂神？
Don't worry about it.
说是魂神，也就是这个样啊。
If you say they are,
也是这个样啊，
it's still how it is. If they're not, it's still how it is.
毫无差别。
It makes no difference
那
at
你
all.
去外面看那个，
Let's take you to see the birds outside.
这是回答第一个问题。
That's my
第二个
reply
问
to
题，
the first
如果
question. The
细胞
second
就是
question.
我们每一念所造的魂神，
If the cells are the souls we created with every
那
thought,
我们这个
then
期
when
间
the
的修
cells
行
die,
是不是能亲近
that would
每
be
一个细
considered
胞的业
one
力，
reincarnation.
如
So
常持顺，
does it mean the
奉
spiritual
尊重
cultivation
咒
when
就能
that
超
we
度我
do
们的细
during
胞？
the lifespan of the cells purified the
我告诉
karma of
你，
the cells, like chanting Ushnisha Vijaya
这本来
mantra,
人的身体就
then
是
we
一个
birth to
聚
deliver
合，
ourselves?
就是一合
Let me
相。
tell you that human's body is an aggregate,
这细胞的研究
is
让
pindagraha.
这个医生啊去学那个细胞学的去学
So,
就
but
好。
research
就当
on
我们的事，
cells, we'll just leave it to the cell
那么
scientists
你
on
照佛
cells.
经，
It's none of our business. And you just follow the sutra and purify your body, speech, and mind and cultivate spiritually. That's good enough. And you're trying to purify your cells? And then each cell has its own karma too. You'll bother me too much. Are you trying to do that? I will have to count my cells every day, thinking the karma of the cells. And do you know how many cells you have in your body? Do you know how many cells do you have in your body? In each of our bodies? Anyone knows? Nobody would know. So why are you thinking about this? About the karma of the cells? Don't. The Buddha never asked you to think about the karma of the cells. You're creating problem from your troublemaker. And Master, please explain the sutra on the samadhi of liberation through purification. One thought results in one body. 100 thoughts result in 100 bodies. 1,000 thoughts means 1,000 bodies. In a day and a night, you plant the seeds of birth and death, which results in 850 million different bodies. So the suffering souls that you create in 100 years will feel the great thousand worlds, and so are the physical bodies. But in this physical body, how could they know that they are all the different bodies of Amitabha Buddha in the Dharma realms? So the sutra included a lot of details, like our body hair. I often think this. Do you know how many strands of hair you have? Nobody can count it. And how many body hair do you have? Nobody can count it. Of course. So this is to use a human body to represent the karma that a human creates. We can say this. Our mind, our behavior, our habitual tendencies, our bodies are all called karma. They're all called karma. So we can say that we live and die thousands of times, or tens of thousands of times. So the sutra on the samadhi of liberation through purification wrote this, because one thought is karma, right? A thought is a karma. Your behavior, your conduct, your action is karma. Your habitual tendencies are all karma. So it's true that we have created lots of karma. But good thing, in Tribhuda school, the Tantric Tribhuda Dharma is to purify the body, speech, and mind. And in a while, we'll talk about the Eightfold Noble Path, which is also talking about the methods to purify karma. through the methods to eradicate the karma of body, speech, and mind. If you can eradicate it, then we naturally manifest our own original body. Each one of us has our own innate body or original body. Then by eradicating karma, you would manifest your own Buddha nature body. So the most important thing is that every one of us is Amitabha Buddha. Once you manifest, then you are Amitabha Buddha. How many Amitabha Buddhas are there? We often chant Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha Buddha. 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. We often chant this. Many people ask me, Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. Where this chanting of this epithet come from? I discovered it. Very few people chant it this way. I discovered it. In Pure Land article, and it was written in it, and then I utilize it into Buddha school. This is excellent. So this is the same. By chanting Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha is to chant all the sentient beings. So now you know by my saying this that all the different bodies in the Dharma realms are Amitabha Buddhas. Now it's clear to you, right? So no matter what kind of bodies in the Dharma realm, it is Amitabha Buddha. So I briefly explained the sutra of liberation, on the samadhi of liberation through purification. So 1 thought, 1 body, 100 thoughts, 100 bodies, 1,000 thoughts, 1,000 bodies. And you have so many bodies. Of course, with one chant, Namo 36 trillions, 119,500 Buddhas with the same name and identification of Amitabha. That would be right to chant it this way. So this is how we chant Amitabha Buddha. Then of course, our body cells, if you believe that one cell is one soul, then they are all Bardo delivered already. That's my answer to Lianhua Yue Qin from Malaysia. I think I've told this joke. When I was young, I loved to go to the zoo to look at the tiger, and I vowed that I want to raise a tiger when I grew up. And 20 years later, my wish was fulfilled. Okay, no need to say more. Now I have to do laundry and cook. Nobody laughed. A group of friends got together, and one of them got drunk. And so the group of friends brought him to a room in a hotel and then notified the wife to come pick him up, to take care of him. And when she walked in the door, the drunkard shouted, "I want a younger one." Sure enough, that's a big problem. Nobody laughed. Now we will continue on the Vimalakirti Sutra. The 37 factors to enlightenment are the pure land of the Bodhisattvas. When the Bodhisattva become a Buddha, sentient beings with mindfulness, right exertions, transcendent basis, roots, powers, realizations, and right paths reach this field. Now we are talking about the right paths. So the path that Sakyamuni Buddha imparted, we call it the right path. And the right path was divided into eightfold. That's why we call it Eightfold Noble Path. So what are they? The first one is right view, right mind, right thoughts, right intention, right livelihood, right right effort, right mindfulness, right meditation, right speech, right action. Are they all 8? So the first one, let me first talk about right view. Which is what we often talk about when we expound the Vimalakirti Sutra, is the fundamental wisdom. So the body is the fundamental wisdom, and the function is the wisdom of discernment. So what is the right view? We know that Sakyamuni Buddha was talking about the 3 Dharma seals. Everything is impermanent. The truth is impermanence. Impermanence is the truth. That everything has no inherent self, and nirvana is bliss. The first Dharma seal is impermanence. In the Saha world, everything is impermanent. The weather today, it was a nice day with sun, but it was cold. So the wind was very cold. So I put on the scarf. So even with the sun, it was still very cold. Everybody is wearing a coat. But here it's warm because we close the doors and the windows. But when you open them, and with the wind, it would be cold. And outside, you also would feel cold. So the weather is ever changing. So sometimes with it rains in the sun, and we call it female rain. So that's impermanence. That there's so many changes within one day. Sometimes I see 7 or 8 changes within a day. Clear sunny sky, and then becomes cloudy, and then it rains, and then wind, and then the thunder and lightning, and then snowing, and hails. Hails. So many changes in a day. So what kind of day today is hard to predict, even with the weather forecast. In one day, there are 7 to 8 changes. So the weather is impermanent, and let alone human beings. What is impermanence? Very simple. It's reported in the news. Pedestrian hell. You go out of the house happily, and then you never get home again, ever. And he or she was walking on the pedestrian, on the crosswalk, and was hit by a car. Young and smart. But that's impermanence. You never know what will happen to you today. In reality, there are many impermanences, so many examples, endless. The world's ever changing. Don't think that you're dating now, and you think your romance is so beautiful, so nice. It's a success, very blissful. But after a while, you would know it is impermanent. Especially love, it's really ever-changing. And someone is still happy at noon and going out together, and at night the weather has changed. Love is really hard to say. It's ever-changing. There are many examples of impermanence in the human world. So the first one is impermanence. The second one is no inherent self. Is what Yue Qin asked, what Kim asked. Your body is also ever-changing, impermanent. Your body and mind are ever-changing. That's impermanence. And why there is no self? Because your body is an aggregate of the earth, water, fire, and wind. They're just a combination. when you
你在哪里？
dissect them,
就是无我啊。
where are you? That's why there's no
无
self.
常跟无我
So impermanence and no self
都是有因果在里面的，全部都有因果在里面。
embody cause and effect, causes and conditions.
所以你以这个来讲起
The
来，
karma is in there.
根本质是
So
差别质，是用。
the fundamental wisdom is the body or the form, and the wisdom of discernment is the function.
你可以看到涅槃。
So in discernment, that within the impermanence and no self, you would be able to see the
无常就是因果，
nirvana of the fundamental wisdom.
无我也是因果。
Impermanence is cause and effect. No self is also cause and effect.
一切都是空吗？
But when people say everything's empty, so
这个就是
is
邪见。
how can it be cause and effect? Then that's the wrong thought, not the right thought, not the right view, sorry,
也不
not the
可以
right view.
偏有
So the right view is you cannot be biased
坐
toward
在
existence
中观
or
道路
emptiness, that you are on the middle path,
可以看到空，
that from existences you
但
can
空
see
不能否
emptiness,
认有。
but emptiness also cannot
你否认了，那就是没有
reject,
因果报应。
cannot reject
所以我们
existence,
今天所遇到的，
cannot deny existences.
其实
So the so-called impermanence,
报应在里面，
it
因缘果报
includes
在里面。
cause and effect
今天
in
我们的
there,
无我
causes and
也
conditions
是
in
一
there.
样有因果。
And today, the same with
这
no
个因
self,
缘果报
it
在里
also
面
embodies cause and
不能
effect,
否认因缘
causes
果
and
报
conditions in there.
你
We
第一
cannot
个
deny
你知道
the
是空，
cause and effect and causes
但
and
是你不
conditions.
能否认因
First,
缘
you
果
know
报
it is empty, but you cannot
这个就
deny
是正见。
karma, cause and effect. And this would be the right view. This would be right view.
为什么是天气是晴天呢？因
Why
为
is
出太
the
阳
weather
是晴天。
clear? Because the sun
为
is
什么突
shining.
然间会变成阴天呢？因为来
But
了一
why
片云，一大片
it
的云。
becomes cloudy all of a sudden? Because lots of
为什么会
clouds
下
come.
雨呢？因为
And
来的是
why
阴云，所以它下雨啊。
Does it rain? Because
为什么又会下雪
it
呢？
was dark clouds. And why
因为
why
天
is
气
it
很冷
snowing?
啊。
Because it's cold.
这个下来的就变成雪花了，
So
就
what's
变成雪花。天气很冷
falling becomes
到了
snowflakes
下雪
because
的
it's
时候
cold.
啊，为什么又会下冰雹？
And why is it hailing?
因为这个雪在半空中结成，
Because the
有一
snows
个变化嘛，因为有什么
form
原因，
because there's some
所以它变成了
causes.
冰雹。
So they become hills.
为什么会打雷呢？
And why is there thunder?
啊，因为这个阴阳电接触啊，短路，所以它
Because the negative and the positive
又有闪电呢。
meeting each other, so there's thunders and lightning.
风从哪里来？
And why is it windy? Where does the wind come
风
from?
从哪里来就知道，风从哪里来。
And you would know.
这些都是因果啊，这里面都有因果。
So there's cause and effect in all
真正的
this.
你在往上面走，
If
离开了这个
you
地表以后啊，
go higher,
哪里有这些东西啊？
then none of
那个
those
就是根
exist.
本质，
And that is the
底下的演
fundamental
化
wisdom.
就是差
Things
别
that's happening and changing
不能
underneath
够
is the
以
wisdom
根
of
本质来
discernment.
否定差别质，
But you cannot
也
use
不
the
能用
fundamental
差别质来
wisdom
否
to
定根本质。
to reject the wisdom of discernment. At the same time, you
这个
cannot
观
use the
念就是
wisdom of
正
discernment
见。
to reject the fundamental wisdom. And such a view is called right view.
所以今天呢，我们是从
So today
常跟无我当中
we
去
start
看见
from impermanence and no self to see that nirvana is bliss.
这个就是如来的
And this is Tathagata's right view, the first of the Eightfold Noble Path.
第二个
The second
正思维
is called the right
啊，八正道当中的
mindset.
第二项叫做正思维。
The second
正思维啊，也就是佛教里面三个重要的闻思修，这个思日
right thought or right mindset,
思的智慧，
which
思的
is
智慧
in the Buddhism
思的智慧
called the
我们
hearing
一般众生啊，
thinking
为什么会轮回？
and practicing.
因为他的
Why
所
are sentient
所
beings
思的所
reincarnated?
想的
Because what they
全部是
think
是非，
is all
我不喜欢人家在
true and false.
我不太喜欢跟人家聊天，有时候我一个人很
I don't like chatting with people.
不喜欢跟人
I
聊
like
天
to be
即使我说
silent
话的时候我不说
and
话，
I don't like to talk unless it's time for me to talk. I don't like to
那
chat.
个我回台湾呐，我那个几个那个
When I go
师
back
母
to
的
Taiwan,
弟弟呀，
Simu's brothers,
或者师母的
younger
这个
brother, and some of
看
her
到我就说过
relatives,
来谈一谈呢，
and
过
they
来我们
ask
坐
me,
下谈一谈。
come on, let's go, come and chat with us. But I
我为什么
never
不谈？
never
我
did.
哪有时间去聊天？
You know why? Because I don't have time. Practicing is more important to me. I don't like to chat
不是智慧。
because once you chat, then you talk about gossips.
我们去喝下午茶，
When you go for afternoon tea,
喝泡沫奶茶，啊
you go to Coco for the
Coco
bubble tea.
去喝下午茶，啊，我那个孙女啊，在
My
Coco 打工
granddaughter is working at
我
Coco
的
now.
孙女啊，卢军啊，在 Coco 打工。
Jin.
我说，人家问说你为什么在 Coco 打工？
And people ask her, why are you
喝
working at
泡沫
Coco?
奶茶，啊，不用钱，
Because of the free bubble tea.
我去那里打工。
So she's working
你可以
there.
去那个Bellevue 的 Coco。
You can go to Coco in Bellevue
军他在那里
and you can see Jin is working there.
去喝下午茶做什么？聊天。
So what do you do when you have
喝
tea
泡
together?
泡沫奶
You
茶
gossip.
吃点心，聊
Bubble
天。
tea, some snacks, and you chat about
不
what?
是就是非。
About true and false, about
商家短，
gossips, about this person and that
都是这样
person.
子的。聊天就是聊是非
That's
嘛，还有什么
all.
好聊的？
What else are
就是
you
那个对
talking
这个
about?
这个错啊，
Just
电视上播的
if not
是不
this
是智慧
person is right, that person is
哪个
wrong.
对哪个不对
Everything
哪个
on
是哪个
television
不
is
是
about
非
rights and
那
wrongs,
些评论呢，政论
who is
政论
right,
人
who
员
is
都是
wrong,
在讲
and the commentators and the
一
hosts
天到晚
just
就是在讲这
kept
个。
keep talking about this and that all day long.
所以啊，人呐，本身为什么没有办法
That's
离开
why
我们这个人的身体？
human beings
就是在
never
六道里
are
面
not
转来转去
able
转来转去转不
to abandon our
因为你
bodies
每
and we
天都是在
keep tumbling
付出
in
来
the
的
sixth
把
rebirth
自己
realm
人
because
檀马，你骑过檀马没有？养过檀马没有？蚕呢？养蚕。
have you
我们
ever
小时候有
keep
养蚕，
uh,
它经
crickets
常吐
like when we were
吐出来
student?
把
Oh,
自己包
no, no,
住
no. Sorry,
Bao-
silkworms.
人就是这个
Silkworms.
样子啊。
Human beings are like that too. They would spit the cocoon around yourself. Nobody bind you, but you spit it out yourself to bind yourself. Like a cocoon. So you spit a lot of thread, and then the cocoon envelope yourself. So what for? It's better to practice the purity of body, speech, and mind. That your thoughts, your mindset, this is called wisdom. So you need to have wisdom. It's the wisdom of thought. The right thought is only one, that you want to have attainment in your spiritual cultivation. This is called the right mindset, the right thoughts. We have no time to chat. We have not much time to live. We have no time for those. Then this would be the right mindset or the right thought. Don't gossip, chat, talk too much. Don't bind yourself. Do our best and find time to chant the Buddha's name, to be reborn in the Pure Land, to have attainments in our spiritual cultivation, to eradicate our karma. This would be the right thought or the right mindset. This is the second. Third is right speech. Like the right thought, when we speak, we need to pay attention. The purity of our speech. Don't defame other people casually. If you don't see it personally or experience it yourself, most of the time you just heard it. And it's not accurate. So we often say, chant the Buddha's name is its right speech, and chanting the mantra is the purity of the speech. So right speech is the same as the pure speech, or the purity of the speech. But most people are not like that. They always talk and talk. And because they have the thoughts, and then they say it from their mouth. So what they think, they say. But the time you spend talking is spent on chanting the Buddha's name or chanting mantras, then this would become right speech. And about speech, we also say in the 4 enticement practices is we need to say kind words or loving words. Kind words, not evil words, not bad words. Anyone can stand up and talk about speech karma, bad words, double-tongued, exaggeration or making up, and lies for karma of the speech. So you avoid them. Bad words, lies, discords or double tongues, and it's like what's that called? Nonsense words. non-useless words. Then if you avoid these 4 kinds of speech, then the rest is right speech. And that would be the purity of speech. So we have covered 3. The 4th one is right livelihood. Because our speech, our action, and our mind are creating karma. They're all karma. Just like the question asked by Kim earlier. They're all karma. One thought results in one body, hundreds of thoughts, hundreds bodies, and thousands of thoughts, thousands bodies. So thought is karma. So what is the right action? Or right karma is when you have pure body, pure speech, and pure mind. That your mouth does not violate or does not create speech karma, the body does not create body karma, and the mind does not create mind karma. And that is the purity of the body, speech, and mind. And that is called right livelihood or right karma. Like in our Dharma practice, you're chanting mantra, your mind is visualizing the form of the deity, and your body is forming the mudra. Doesn't matter what mudra you form, they're all pure. That represent the purity of your body. So your mind is visualizing, your mouth is chanting, and your body is forming mudra. That's the pure mind, pure speech, and pure body. At this time, the 3 karma are pure, and that's called right karma. So tantric spiritual cultivation is very direct. When you form the mudras, that's the purity of the body. When you chant the mantras, that's the purity of the speech. When you visualize, to teach you visualization, the methods of visualization is the purity of the mind. Very simple. So Tantrayana relies on these 3 purities to gain spiritual union with the deity, because that's right karma. Pure body, pure mind, pure speech.
Guru Samasiti Hom. Om Ahom Pachai Guru Samasiti Hom. Om Ahom Pachai Guru Samasiti Hom. 你在这念的时候啊
When you chant this, this is a mantra, and that's the purity of the speech. And you hear it with your ears, then your mind is pure. And you visualize Guru Padmasambhava. And then you form Guru Padmasambhava's mudra. And that's the purity of the body. Then when your body, speech, and mind are pure, this is the right karma. Do you understand now? Next is right livelihood.
很简单呐，再来就这个解释很好。
Then this is very easy to explain.
依照这样子生活下去，
And if you live according to this,
亲近的生活，
that you live your life with pure body, speech, and mind,
就是正命。
that's right livelihood.
你的生活就是身清净、
So,
口清净、意清净，
in your life,
这样子生活下去，
so you continue to live
叫做正
with the
命。
pure body, speech, and mind. And that would be called right livelihood, right view, right thought, right speech, right karma or action, right livelihood. 5 kinds.
这样会不会？
Now, do you know?
所以我平时说法也没讲什么。
Therefore, I don't
这个
really say
我
anything
只
when
大部分
giving
我的
Dharma
时间是
teaching.
在说法的时候说话，其他时间
As for
比较
me,
少说。
I speak mostly when I give Dharma teaching, and I don't speak
有
much
时候
at
也
other
可以常常
times.
讲一点，
Like during meal
让大家
times, I don't say much, but
有时候
sometimes,
唱唱歌，
sometimes if as appropriate, and sometimes I sing a song when I'm happy. But
不
actually,
会啊。
it sounds bad. No.
就是那一天呢、我听到那个上个礼拜吧，
Last week, I heard
唱了一首歌，
someone from California who sang a
非
song
常好听，
that sounded
那
nice.
就稍微写了一下，
So I wrote
是
it.
很好。
And so it's not that good, but let me sing it for you.
送给你小星星，送你花一朵，你是我生命中太多的感动，你是我的天使，一路指引我，无论岁月变幻，爱你唱成歌。听我说，谢谢你，因为有你温暖那诗句，因为你，谢谢你，世界更美丽，因为你，谢谢你，爱你在心底，因为你，谢谢有你，把爱来传递。我这个字还是不能背得很熟，但是我会把它唱完。
I haven't memorized it quite well.
你小星星，送你花一朵，因为我生命中最大的感动，你是我的天使。你是我的天使，一路指导我，一路指导我是吧？
You're my angel guiding
一
me.
路指引我，就是这条歌吧，谁会唱的？
I give you a little bit of heart and a flower
你们都会唱
because you give me so much
做所以
touch.
的这条歌很好听的，这条歌。
This song is very nice.
我以前在台湾写的，
Listen
就是
to me thanking you.
闪一闪的星，
And this song I sang in
那
Taiwan,
一颗是你的眼
Planting
睛
Stars.
一片一片的雨， 在天上落在心里，一朵一朵的花。
Of all the stars in the sky, which ones are your eyes?
只要你愿意相信，
The clouds in the sky fall into my heart.
只要你愿意相信，
Each of the stars is someone who loves you. If you believe that, you would be the happiest person. Each star in the sky is someone who has loved us. If you are willing to believe that, then you are planting the stars.
Yeah. 唱歌啊，心情也好。
You would be in a good mood after singing. And these are all good songs, positive. I like to listen and hum it. But of course, it doesn't. I don't sing well if I sing for others.